As an ex-people pleaser, I can tell you exactly how the pattern runs when it comes to saying yes when all you want to do is say no. If a friend needed a favor, I was already on it. If a family member wanted something doing, consider it done. Someone asked me if I was free, I'd always say yes. And very often, I didn't give myself the chance to say no before the yes was already tripping off my tongue. As an ex-people pleaser, I can tell you exactly the pattern that runs when you're saying yes, when all you want to do is say no. And then when I became a mindset coach for gay men, things became even more apparent and more obvious that I'd been saying yes so many times when what I really wanted to do was say no. I think under the hood, what that told me is that I was a decent person, that I was somebody that people could count on. And the backstory, well, that sums it all up in a sentence. Bullied as a kid, didn't have many friends, wanted to keep the friends that I did have happy. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're a people pleaser and you're saying yes every single time. Before we get into today's video, if you're a gay man who knows there's more and you want to connect with other gay guys on a similar path, the Freedom Community on School is where that happens. There's conversation, genuine connection, plus it's ad-free, just like social media should be. There's also a ton of resources, including videos, courses, and masterclasses. You can connect with guys around the globe or come and join one of the live calls every week or one of the monthly live Q&A calls. I'm in the community every single day offering support and cheering you on. Come for the lessons and stay for the banter. It's free to join and the link is in the description or scan the QR code on screen now and I'll see you inside. So today I want to show you exactly how I changed all of that. But firstly, if you're new here, welcome back to the coaching sessions. I'm David and this space is for gay men who are ready to move past that familiar second best feeling in here to being fully visible in their relationships, in their choices, how they see themselves. So be sure to hit subscribe and like because it helps me grow the channel and reach even more men who need it most. Now, the advice that you'll get everywhere is so easy for other people to say, and yet for us people pleasers, it's really hard to do, and that is you just need to say no more often. And no is a complete sentence, and I've heard it, I've said it, and I stand by it. No is a complete sentence. But every time I led with that, the weight was still there. I just moved it from one place to another. From the pressure of saying yes to everything to the guilt from the times that I didn't. What changed wasn't the refusal, it was the way that I started to reframe the approach and using a different question entirely. And that's what I want to walk you through today. When we consider our time, our energy, our attention, all of it going to the things that we might not have questioned, and at some point we clock this life that we've drifted quite a long way away from the life that we dreamt about. So when I started to change it, the discomfort, yeah, it was pretty substantial at the time. So what I came to understand, albeit gradually, is the discomfort of the pause is kind of the point, because inside that pause is the only place this question can live. Where is my yes going to? Sounds a bit mad when you think about it though, doesn't it? Where is my yes going to? What does that even mean? Especially when you're focusing on the fact that you just want to say no, which hasn't changed. But when you focus on the direction of the yes, it puts a whole new spin on the situation. So the question, where is my yes going, changed the direction. I can move through decisions more easily, the everyday ones, the quick agreements, the reflexive availability. And I've watched it do the same for a lot of the guys that I work with inside of my coaching community. The question, it's simple for us to wrap our heads around, even though it feels kind of weird. And the answer, when you stop to find it, is often the most honest thing that you've said to yourself in a long time. As I said earlier, no is a complete sentence, and a lot of us live by that. And getting comfortable with that matters, but so does paying attention to where that yes is plowing towards. When the focus is on the no or the refusal, the emotional weight usually is then focused on the other person's reaction. So when you ask where your yes is going to instead, the question becomes yours entirely and the focus moves away from their response into your own direction. Because every no that you mean creates a yes that belongs to you. The practical thing that came out of it for me was no more than a few words. Let me get back to you on that. That's it. And now when somebody asks me something, that reflex to say yes doesn't fire immediately, because those few words create that pause and that distance and that space that gives you the time to consider your answer. So there may be an urge to fill the silence after that, but just let it sit, pause, breathe, just say to them, I'll get back to you on that. Because in that pause is where the question lives. Where is my yes going? And is that where I want it to go? Now, some of you will try this, and the first few times you'll check in, you know what you want to say, and you'll still say yes anyway. No one's judging you for that, because I've been in that position. I know what that feels like, my friend. That's the pattern just becoming visible. And that awareness sitting alongside the choice that you have made or want to make is the beginning of the shift. Now, here's an important thing. If someone in your life finds it hard to give you a moment before you agree to something, that's worth paying attention to as well. Just make a mental note of that and notice what comes up and what you're thinking at the time and what you're feeling. And over time, what happens is you get to the end of the week or the end of the weekend, and you don't sit there thinking, who did I give it to? Where did all my time go? Where did I spend that time on me? Because you've been using that new awareness to start consciously choosing. Now, a guy I worked with inside of my community described this all too well. He was somebody that had built his professional identity around being the person who said yes. He was reliable, available, always showed up. So we began to focus on where his yeses were going. And a few weeks later, it was amazing because he revealed that the first time he'd used it was on a colleague at work. He was a bit apprehensive with anything new. It makes sense, but did it anyway. He said he realized I'd been managing the reaction that was never coming. And what he was describing is what the pause reveals. The version of events we've rehearsed so often about what happens when you don't answer immediately is almost always bigger than what happens if anything happens at all. And he'd moved past that, where is my yes going, to something even deeper. Is this something I'm choosing or agreeing to because the alternative feels more challenging? So I want you to try something with me. We do this a lot in my videos. I'm going to do a bit of a guided visualization for you. Close your eyes if you feel safe to do so, and picture yourself at the end of the week, a few months from now, somewhere where you feel settled, that settle where you've moved through the week, where you've paid attention to what you want, where your yeses are headed. And in that week, you've given your yeses to the things that you've chosen. Yes, of course, things are going to crop up that you have to say yes to, that you don't necessarily want to. This isn't about saying no to everything, but it's about paying attention to the things that you want. Think about the conversations that you wanted to have, the commitments that felt like yours to carry and follow through with, a time where you felt like you moved forward. Hear what it sounds like when you tell somebody about that week, that version of you where you describe something that you did because you wanted to, in a tone that has some ease to it. Now, before you go, I want you to think about one yes that you've given recently that felt, I don't know, like it was less than yours to give. Where did it go, and what would you have chosen or said instead? Just sit with it, notice what comes up. There's no pressure. Write it down if it helps. Now, if any of this landed for you, my friend, the doors to the Freedom Community are open. You'll find the link in the description below. Until next time, take care and be well.